thank you for fostering with PAWS during COVID-19. These are our updated protocols for foster parents to start on August of 2020. I'm going to keep this video as short and sweet as I can, so just know that the expectation is that you'll pause it and read the entire contents of the slide. I'm just going to touch on a couple important things here and there. And for those of you who have seen the first two versions, I tried to highlight in green font the differences from version 2 to this version to make it a little easier for you. The purpose of our update is listed here. Our goals during COVID are listed here. Remember the importance of your role. We need foster parents to be the expert in your fosters so that you know their medical and behavior needs so well that you can fully explain it to an adopter. So if you're unclear or don't quite know how to explain something, please ask us. We're happy to help you. We need foster parents to be proactive, so even if you don't hear from us, please reach out every 3 to 4 weeks just with a general update so we know how your foster is doing. And even though we have so many more of you than we ever had before, our commitment to helping each of you as individuals hasn't changed. Just let us know when you need help. We are still so thankful for all of you. Thank you to new and recurring foster parents for just absolutely kicking butt here in 2020 despite a whole myriad of obstacles. We really appreciate your patience and all your time and effort. I did want to provide an update. If you guys have been following our social media, you probably saw that our Grace Ferry air conditioning broke. It was in the 90s in our surgery suites and in our building, but thanks to everyone's hard work, we got everybody out, we ordered the necessary part, rushed it to the building, and happy to share that temperatures now are starting to drop to a reasonable level, and we are hoping to have more normal services coming into August and September. This one is important, a pan-Luc and parvo update. Every summer, places with warm climates tend to see this virus. It's the reason we vaccinate so many of our animals. I did want to touch on a couple really important things. Pan-Luc can live in the environment for a long time, even after appropriate disinfection. So if you do have a foster pet who then has parvo, we do require a 6-month waiting period before we give you any other foster animals that have not already completed their booster sequence. This is just an update for this third iteration here. We're back on track with surgeries, barring any other unforeseen things like the air conditioning breaking. We should be good to go, meaning we're doing a lot less pre-adoptions, so back to normal with that. And did want to throw a reminder, thanks to Meredith for that info, of the contactless meets and payment methods we are espousing during COVID. Communication. Email, still the best way to get a hold of us. Using the subject line urgent for not quite emergency levels, but still important things, absolutely. And then if it's time sensitive, but not quite urgent, using time sensitive in that subject line. We are really limiting non-essential communications, so please, please, please check out all these online resources on the resource page before you ask us a question. We have the same questions coming up, so we put them in resources for you guys so we can limit our back and forth communication. The emergency phone is operating as normal, and new foster parents I know can be unsure about when to use it. Do not call unless it is a true emergency. So this is a situation where you would call 911 for a person. I'll give an example. If your foster animal vomits once, you don't call the emergency phone for the most part, because if a person were to vomit once, you wouldn't call an ambulance. But if the person was continuing to vomit and they have blood in their vomit and they're not stopping and now they're starting to pass out, you would probably call 911 and get them some help. So just try to frame it like that before you call the phone. Also a reminder, it only applies to active foster animals. This is not a phone number that goes to adopters. It doesn't go to pre-adopters. It doesn't go to foster fails, nothing like that. It is only for active foster animals. And here's a reminder of the sort of triage and symptoms. A reminder that transportation assistance is available. You can email the amazing Allison Lamond to schedule non-urgent transportation. Adopter protocols. So adopters still going strong. We have a ton of applications coming in. We have so many, there's a backlog. So just make sure that you're confirming approvals with us. Fastest way is to email our adoptions team. That way you're not emailing our foster teams, and they can be foster specific. Also, because of how many applications there are, the adoptions team can sometimes expedite applications for you. If you have a really great match and we just haven't gotten to their application yet, we can usually check it out for you since we have a lot and we know there's a little bit of a backlog. These are our guidelines for completing adopter meets during this time. I like to say that you want to line everything up with them ahead of time through phone calls and video chats and emails and all of that. So you're literally just handing them a cat. You're just handing them a dog, you know. There's not a lot of in-person contact. Along those lines, please utilize our contact list, contract, and fee options. So a lot of you do this during non-COVID times, which is also fine. You just email us the adoption contracts when they're done, especially if they paid by Venmo or over the phone by credit card. It's very easy to just email us digitally the adoption contract, whether you scan it in or use a very clear picture from your phone. And then the reminder here on this slide is for the adoption fees. Foster walk-in hours. So there will be a wait, right? That's why they're walk-in style. So if you have any adopters or transporters that are bringing an animal to us that you know of, just remind them that it is walk-in style. It's not an appointment, that they can just set their expectations a little better. We do also want to remind you that you might not be seen. You know, we do focus on rescuing the most at-risk animals, so we do have occasional emergencies. And, if you think of it from your perspective, what if your foster pet was having an emergency? Of course, you would want us to have all hands on deck to make sure we can address that emergency as best as possible. So it doesn't happen often, but it's just something to keep in mind. The foster walk-in clinic is only for sick animals, or if a vet has specifically requested a recheck, usually for things like enucleations or amputations. Right now, our only clinic that's doing these hours is our Grays Ferry, South Philly location. Grant Avenue does not have walk-in hours. They are doing here and there special appointments, depending on which vet is at which location. So if you would prefer to go to Grant, you can always ask. Just, we'll let you know what's available. And lastly, a reminder not to bring your foster pet to walk-in clinic for issues that are not time sensitive or just a general wellness check. The wait is already long enough for animals that are truly sick, so just try to keep that in mind. And if you're not sure, email us. We're happy to help. Make sure you're coming prepared to these appointments. And a reminder that these are all done curbside, meaning you don't come inside. Here's a reminder of what you can expect when you come in, and a link to the foster walk-in form if you want to print that, fill it out, and bring it with you to expedite the time that you're here. Recurring care. So just a reminder about the combo tests. They will get done during the spay-neuter surgeries, not during our curbside vaccine clinic appointment. That's a little different from pre-COVID times, so we wanted to highlight that. Dewormers like praziquantel or flea treatments can be requested during curbside vaccine clinic appointments, and here's a little extra info about that there. So we're still doing our curbside booster clinic appointments. I believe they're 10-minute appointment blocks at this point, sometimes more if you have a large litter of kittens or a mom with babies. We are doing Grays Ferry, but here and there factoring in a couple days at Grant Avenue as we start to ramp Grant back up. You can sign up using the link on the resource page or this one here on the PDF version of this. Here's a little rundown of the kitten and puppy booster schedule, since I know that's new for a couple people. The dates we give in the boosters are every 2 weeks, but they can get them up to 4 weeks afterwards. So if the schedule gets changed because of, maybe we didn't have that date open, but we had a date that was 3 weeks open, and they're coming to that one instead, just rewrite them. That way the adopter will know when to come. And then the rabies shot they'll get, it's kind of like what we call their adult shots. they will get that only one time and as they're in their 4th round. So most of the time you don't even have them when this happens. The adopters will bring them, and that's fine because all of the shots are covered in the adoption fee for the adopters. They just have to sign up same as you guys would. A reminder about dewormers, making sure that you're, especially for neonates, since they will not have already gotten most of these when you get them, making sure that you know what boosters and dewormers are due when. And that if your kittens look similar, just a reminder to put collars on them. It just makes our lives so much easier for microchipping. And lastly, curbside ringworm care. So every summer, rescues like PAWS save animals with ringworm. It's annoying but not life-threatening, and just make sure you're looking over your foster pet every day to try to detect any early signs of hair loss. This, you can see the green small print at the bottom there. We have you come to PAWS for ringworm cultures every 2 weeks, but make sure, let's say you're signed up for a Monday to come in, that you don't do any dips at home up to 3 days leading to the culture. If you do that, sometimes it can come back contaminated. You can schedule for ringworm care. I think they're doing 15-minute appointments at this point, using this link here on the PDF version, or it's all on the resource page, same as usual. And a reminder that we do encourage you guys to do the lime sulfur baths at home because it is so much less stressful for the animal than coming into the shelter. All right, that's it. Short and sweet. So just a reminder to keep yourself safe, keep washing those hands, and we hope that you're all doing well.